Hello friends, welcome to Internet Networks. My name is Edgar Francis. In this video, we will see the configurations of the network time protocol. If you are here to know more in detail about the NTP, so there's a link in the description box, you can visit it out. Here I have wrote everything about the NTP, what is the advantage, disadvantages, and what is the purpose of this NTP. So here you will see many informations about the NTP and the configurations. Okay. So let's go to the lab over here. These are the steps we are going to take in order to configure the network time protocol. First, we configure the IP addresses as per the topology over here. After that, we are going to configure EIGRP and the AS65100 and advertise all the directly connected routes. Okay, and then we configure the NTP on router 3 and make this as a server, and the server address will be the loopback, which is 192.168.3.3, and we are going to tell the routers, router 1 and router 2 and router 4, that the NTP server IP address is 192.168.3.3, and we make sure that the router will get synchronize this the new time provided by this NTP server. Okay. So let's see the configurations starting with the IP addressing. Okay. So first we have to configure the IP addresses as per the topology, starting with this router 1. Router 1 is having one serial interface, one loopback, and one fast Ethernet. Okay. So starting with the serial interface. So interface serial /0. The IP address is 1.1.1.1 no shutdown, and we have the fast Ethernet. So interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and the IP address is 10.1.1 255.0.0.0, and no shutdown and no keep alive because we have not configured any device. Okay, so okay, now the loopback interface, which is 192.168.1.1. So interface and the loopback 0. The IP address is 192.168.1.1 255.255.255.0. No shutdown. Okay. So now we configure on this router 2. Okay. So router 2 is having two serial interface, one fast Ethernet and one loopback. So configure terminal, and the interface serial /0, and the IP address of this interface is 1.1.1.2 255.0.0.0, and no shutdown. Exit, and we have another serial interface with /1. So interface, and we have serial /1, and the IP address is 2.2.2.1 255.0.0.0. No shutdown. Exit, and we have loopback and the fast Ethernet. So interface and fast Ethernet 0/0. The IP address of this interface is 20.1.1.1.1 255.0.0.0, and no shutdown, no keep alive. Exit, and we have the loopback. So interface loopback 0. The IP address is 192.168 2.2 255.255.0. No shutdown. Okay, now we go to this router 3. This is router 3, and this router is going to be our server soon. Okay, so configure terminal, and interface serial /1. The IP address is 2.2.2.2 255.0.0.0. No shutdown. Exit. Now interface and we have serial, which is this 4/2. So 4/2, and the IP address is 3.3.3.1 255.0.0.0. No shutdown, exit, and we have the fast Ethernet 0/0. So interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and the IP address is 30.1.1.1.1 255.0.0.0. No shutdown, exit, interface fast Ethernet 0/0. I have to write the command no keep alive. Okay, exit. Now, okay, 4/1 and 4/2. Okay, now let's configure on this router 4. This is our router 4. Router 4 having only one serial interface. So, okay, interface and the serial 4/2. IP address is 3.3.3.2 255.0.0.0. No shutdown, exit, and interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and the IP address is 40.1.1.1.1 255.0.0.0. No keep alive and no shutdown, exit, and we have the loopback interface loopback 0. IP address is 192.168.4.4 255.255.255.0. okay, no shutdown. Okay, let me see the IP address of this loopback 192.168.3.3 on router 3. Okay, so interface and loopback 0. The IP address is 192.168.3.3 255.255.255.0. No shutdown. We are going to use this loopback 0 for the NTP server. Okay. So here our first task is completed. Now let's verify the IP addressing. Everything is up and working. So starting with this router 1, do show IP interface brief. Okay, up and up. Okay, on this router 2, okay, do show IP interface brief. Okay, up and up. Okay, now router 3, do show IP interface brief. Okay, 192.168.3.3. okay, now on router 4, do show IP interface brief. Okay, up and up. Okay, now we are going to configure routing with EIGRP AS65100 and advertise all the ports, means all the interfaces. Okay, so starting with this router 1. Okay, so router EIGRP, the AS is 65100. Okay, so the network is 192.168 1.0, and we have the network 10.0.0.0, and we have 1.0.0.0, and we have 10.1. okay, 10.1 and 192.168 1.1. okay, no auto summary, exit. Now router 2, so router EIGRP 65100, and we have the network. Router 2 is having 1, 2, 3, 4 networks. So starting with the loopback 192.168 2.0, and we have 20.0.0.0, and we have the serial interface 2.2.2.2, okay, and we have the 1 dot network. So 1.0.0.0, no auto summary. You can see the neighborship is up, okay, between the router 1 and router 2. Okay, now let's configure on this router 3. So router EIGRP 65100, and we have the network 3 dot, 2 dot, 30 dot, and 192.168 3.3. Okay, so starting with the loopback 192.168 3.0 and 30.0.0.0, and we have the 3.0 and we have 2.0. No auto summary. Okay, the neighborship is up between router 3 and router 2. So now let's configure on this router 4 and advertise all the interfaces, connected interfaces. Okay, router EIGRP 65100, and we have the network. One is 40 dot, starting with the loopback interface. So interface is 192.168 4.0, and we have the network which is 40.0.0.0, and we have the 3 dot network. So 3.0.0.0, no auto summary. Okay, so the neighborship is up between this router 4 and router 3. Now let's verify the configurations. Okay, do show IP route EIGRP. Okay, we have these routes in the routing 1 routing table. We have the 20 dot and 40 dot and 30 dot networks, and the loopback interface 192.168 3.0, 2.0, 4.0. Okay, so now router 2. It is a best practice to see what's the route, what the router install, the routes in its routing table. So do show IP route EIGRP. Okay, 30 dot, 10 dot, and okay, all the routes are installed in the router 2 routing table. The same way, do show IP route EIGRP. Okay, 10 dot, 20 dot, 10 dot, and 40 dot. Okay, now router 4, do show IP route EIGRP. Okay, 20 dot, 10 dot, 30 dot. Okay, so here we have successfully configured the IP addressing and the EIGRP. Now we have to configure NTP, means the network time protocol, on router 3. Server address will be the loopback 0, because the loopback will never goes down. Okay, so let's go. So now let's configure the NTP server on this router 3. Okay, minimize this and okay. So first we have to check the clock. So the command is show clock. Okay, so now the command is very simple, show clock, and you will see over here the time and the day and the date and the year, everything. Okay, so we are going to change this, and all these router will synchronize this information. Okay, so first configure terminal and make this a server. So NTP and master, and you have to give the number. Okay, so I'm using the 8. Okay, so exit. Now we have to give the NTP source interface. So I'm using the loopback. So NTP and source and the loopback 0, and we have to give the IP address, which is the 192.168.3.3 on the loopback 0. So NTP and server, the IP address is 192.168.3.3. okay. So okay, now we are going to set the time. Okay, so clock set, and here you will see the hours, minutes, seconds, current time. Okay, so I'm using the 15:15 and 15. It's not my birth date, but I'm using this numbers, and the date I'm using 25 July. Again, it's not my birthday, and year I'm 2020. Okay, so let's see. Now let's see the routers synchronize this information or not. You can see over here the system clock has been updated from 14, 18, 11, Monday, March, and this July 25 to 2020. Okay, now let's see, show clock. Okay, you will see the timer here. Now let's see, show NTP status. Okay, you can see the clock synchronized and all these informations over here you can read. Now let's check the show NTP. Okay, there you will see the pole, reach, delay, and other informations. Now let's check on this router 4. Exit, show clock. Okay, so now we have to tell the router the NTP server address. Okay, before the command show clock, you can see over here this router 1 is not synchronized the information which we gave on this router 3. So we have to give the server address. So NTP server, the server is 192.168.3.3. so 192.168.3.3, and the same way on this router 2. Okay, let me minimize this. Okay, now show clock, you can see do show clock. There you will see there's no synchronizations. Okay, we give the year is 2020, but here is 2025. Okay, so we have to give the server address. So NTP server is 192.168.3.3, and same way on this router 4. Okay, here you will see. Okay, now configure terminal, and we give the server address, which is the NTP server 192.168.3.3. now let's verify, starting with this router 1. Let me minimize all these rest of the routers. Okay, router 1. Okay, exit. Now we see show clock, show clock. There you will see the date, time, and the month we have provided over there, July, and the date is 25, and the year is 2020. Okay, and let's check on this router 2. Do show clock. Okay, here also this router 2 is synchronize the information, and router 4. do show clock. Okay, here. So this is how you can configure the NTP server in your topology. I hope you like this video. If you like, please give a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much.